For months, farmers in Punjab were protesting against the Indian government's new agricultural laws. What sparked these protests, and what do they mean for the future of agriculture in India? Hello and welcome to our video on the farmers' protest that took place in Punjab, India. In this video, we will discuss the background and reasons for the protests, the timeline of events, and the current status of the protest. The farmers' protest in Punjab, India, has been making headlines around the world since it began in September 2020. Sparked by the Indian government's decision to pass 3 new agricultural bills, the protest has become a powerful movement that has brought together farmers from across the country to demand change. But what are these bills, and why are they so controversial? And what do the farmers hope to achieve through their protests? In this video, we'll take a closer look at the farmers' protest in Punjab, exploring the history, impact, and current status of this important movement. From sit-ins and rallies to clashes with police and internet shutdowns, we'll examine the challenges and triumphs of the farmers' fight for agricultural reform in India. So join us as we explore this ongoing battle between farmers and the Indian government, and what it means for the future of agriculture in India. India is one of the world's largest agricultural producers, with agriculture employing over 50% of the country's workforce. However, the Indian agricultural sector has long faced challenges such as low productivity, poor infrastructure, and low income for farmers. In September 2020, the Indian government passed 3 agricultural bills aimed at liberalizing the sector and making it more market-oriented. The first bill, the Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce, Promotion and Facilitation Bill, allows farmers to sell their produce outside of government-regulated markets, giving them the freedom to sell to buyers of their choice. The second bill, the Farmers' Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill, allows farmers to enter into contracts with agribusinesses and large retailers for the sale of their crops. The third bill, the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill, removes certain food items such as cereals, pulses, oilseeds, onion, and potatoes from the list of essential commodities, thereby deregulating their supply, distribution, and storage. While the government claims that these bills will provide farmers with more opportunities, many farmers in Punjab and other states fear that the new laws will lead to the dismantling of the existing minimum support price (MSP) system, which ensures that farmers receive a guaranteed price for certain crops, and give more power to big corporations in the agriculture sector. Farmers argue that the new laws will lead to a race to the bottom, with big corporations exploiting small farmers, and that they were not consulted before the bills were passed. In response to the new laws, farmers in Punjab organized protests and sit-ins, with other states soon joining in. The protests soon gained momentum, with farmers blocking highways and railway tracks to demand the repeal of the 3 agricultural bills. The government initially responded by dismissing the protests as politically motivated, but as the movement gained strength, it began to engage with farmer leaders in talks to find a solution. September 2020, the Indian government passes 3 agricultural bills aimed at liberalizing the sector and making it more market-oriented. The bills are met with opposition from farmers in Punjab and other states, who fear that the new laws will lead to the dismantling of the existing minimum support price (MSP) system and give more power to big corporations in the agriculture sector. November 2020, farmers from across the country marched towards Delhi to demand the repeal of the 3 agricultural bills. The protests gain international attention, with celebrities and politicians expressing solidarity with the farmers. November 26, 2020, tens of thousands of farmers reached the outskirts of Delhi and set up protest camps. The Delhi police set up barricades and used water cannons and tear gas to disperse the protesters, leading to clashes and injuries on both sides. December 2020, the Indian government holds several rounds of talks with farmer leaders, but no agreement is reached. January 2021, violence erupts during a tractor rally organized by the farmers on Republic Day, with protesters clashing with police and storming the Red Fort. The government responds by shutting down internet services in several areas and arresting several protest leaders. February 2021, the government proposes a suspension of the 3 agricultural bills for 18 months, but farmer leaders reject the proposal, demanding a complete repeal of the bills. March 2021, the farmers' protest continues, with protesters holding sit-ins and blocking highways. The government continues to hold talks with farmer leaders, but no agreement is reached. The immediate demand of the farmers' protest is the repeal of the 3 agricultural bills passed by the government in 2020. The farmers believe that the laws will lead to the dismantling of the existing Agricultural Produce Market Committee, APMC, mandis and end their relationship with small-scale businessmen, leaving them at the mercy of corporations. The farmers are also demanding the removal of punishments and fines for stubble burning, and the release of farmers arrested for burning paddy stubble in Punjab. They want the government to guarantee the minimum support price, MSP, in writing, as they fear that dismantling the APMC mandis will encourage abolishing the purchase of their crops at the MSP. Other demands added over time include the convening of a special parliament session to repeal the farm laws, making MSP and state procurement of crops a legal right, assurances that the conventional procurement system will remain, implementing the Swaminathan panel report, cutting diesel prices for agricultural use by 50%, repealing the Commission on Air Quality Management in NCR and the adjoining Ordinance 2020, abolishing the Electricity Ordinance 2020, and ensuring the centre does not interfere in state subjects. The farmers' protest has been insistent on repealing the farm laws, even after the government offered to stay the laws for 18 months in January 2021. The farmers' protest has sparked a broader discussion about the role of agriculture in the Indian economy and the need for agricultural reforms that benefit small farmers. Following the Prime Minister's announcement of the repeal of the farm laws in November 2021, there were renewed demands for a guaranteed MSP. This had been the second major demand throughout the farmers' protest. The farmers' union stated that their protest was ongoing despite the Indian government repealing all three farm bills in late November 2021. The protests continued until 11 December 2021, when the unions declared the end of the protests, and the farmers began returning home. The impact of the farmers' protest on the Indian economy is multifaceted. On the one hand, the protest has had a direct impact on the agricultural sector, with farmers withholding their produce from markets and disrupting supply chains. This has led to a rise in food prices and shortages of certain goods in some areas. The protest has also had broader economic implications, as it has led to a decrease in investor confidence and uncertainty about the government's ability to carry out economic reforms. The protest has been ongoing for over a year, with numerous rounds of talks between the government and farmers' unions failing to reach a resolution. This prolonged uncertainty has led to a negative impact on business and investment sentiment in the country. Furthermore, the protest has highlighted long-standing issues related to agriculture and rural livelihoods in India, such as low levels of investment in agriculture, inadequate infrastructure, and the need for greater market access and fair prices for farmers. These issues are important for the overall development of the country, and the protest has sparked a broader discussion about the need for agricultural reforms that benefit small farmers and promote sustainable agriculture. The farmers' protest in India has drawn international attention and support, with many people and organizations expressing solidarity with the farmers' cause. The protest has been covered extensively by international media, including major news outlets such as the BBC, CNN, and Al Jazeera. The protests have also been the subject of documentaries and social media campaigns, which have helped to spread awareness about the issue. International celebrities and politicians have also expressed support for the farmers' protest. In February 2021, the pop star Rihanna tweeted in support of the farmers, which led to a wave of support on social media. Other celebrities such as Greta Thunberg and Mia Khalifa also expressed support for the farmers. Politicians such as Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and members of the US Congress have also spoken out in support of the farmers. The international attention and support for the farmers' protest have put pressure on the Indian government to address the farmers' concerns and find a resolution to the issue. The protests have become a global symbol of resistance against corporate exploitation and the struggle for fair wages and workers' rights. Overall, the international attention and support for the farmers' protest have helped to amplify the voices of the farmers and bring attention to the long-standing issues in Indian agriculture. This has also helped to create a global dialogue about the need for sustainable and equitable agricultural practices. During the farmers' protest in India, there have been several deaths reported. The deaths have been largely attributed to the harsh weather conditions, accidents, and health issues. However, there have also been reports of deaths due to police brutality and clashes between protesters and supporters of the government. One of the most notable incidents occurred on the 26th of January 2021, when protesters clashed with police during a tractor rally in Delhi. The clashes resulted in the death of a protester, and several others were injured. The incident sparked widespread condemnation and led to calls for an independent investigation into the use of force by the police. There have also been reports of farmers dying by suicide during the protest. The stress and financial strain of the protest, combined with existing issues in the agricultural sector, have led some farmers to take their own lives. The issue of farmer suicides is a long-standing problem in India, and the farmers' protest has brought renewed attention to this issue. The deaths of farmers during the protest are a tragic reminder of the importance of addressing the issues in the agricultural sector and ensuring that small farmers are treated fairly and have access to resources and support. It is important to acknowledge the sacrifices made by these farmers and to work towards creating a more equitable and sustainable agricultural system that benefits all stakeholders. In conclusion, the farmers' protest in India has been a significant event that has drawn attention to long-standing issues in the Indian agricultural sector. The protests, which have been ongoing for over a year, have centered around the demand for the repeal of 3 farm laws passed by the government in 2020. The farmers' unions believe that these laws will lead to the dismantling of the existing minimum support price (MSP) system and end their relationship with small-scale businessmen. The protests have had a direct impact on the agricultural sector, as farmers have withheld their produce from markets and disrupted supply chains. Additionally, the protests have had broader economic implications, leading to a decrease in investor confidence and uncertainty about the government's ability to carry out economic reforms. The international attention and support for the farmers' protest have helped to amplify the voices of the farmers and bring attention to the issues in Indian agriculture. The protests have become a global symbol of resistance against corporate exploitation and the struggle for fair wages and workers' rights. While the Indian government has repealed the farm laws, the issues raised by the farmers' protest are far from resolved. The need for sustainable and equitable agricultural practices remains a pressing issue, and continued attention and action are needed to address these issues and ensure that small farmers are treated fairly and have access to markets and resources. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and comment.